everyone, I'm Keely and this is Voice of a Creative, and today I'm here to share with you my 2021 sewing plans. So every year I try to film a video with some resolutions and plans for the coming year, and I tried to look back on the previous year. If you haven't watched my 2020 roundup video, I will pop a card in so you can go and watch that first, and that will give you a little bit more context to why I'm choosing these resolutions. Now, in previous years I have done a make nine sewing patterns that I want to make, but I've chosen not to do that this year because I did not do well at my make 9 last year, and so I'm going to approach it in a slightly different way instead. So I'm starting a new sewing notebook. I finished my old one with the end of 2020. I've only got like 1 or 2 pages left. So I'm starting a new notebook, and I've chosen this one, which I got with the Papergang subscription. Papergang is a stationery subscription box, which is a monthly payment, and you get a monthly box of goodies with stationery and notebooks and stickers and lots of things. And I've been subscribing to it for a little while now, and Oh Dear, who are the company behind Papergang, have given me a discount code to share with you, so you can get half price off your first Papergang box with the code PG Keely, and I will pop it along the bottom of the screen. But this is one of the beautiful notebooks that I got with my Papergang subscription. And so if you're looking to get a few little goodies in the post every month, that's a really lovely thing to do. It's £14 a month, but the things you get easily equal that, if not more. I've added my Seamstress sticker on the front here, that's from Pink Coat Club, and this is just a lined notebook on the inside. I'm going to use it kind of like a bullet journal to record what I'm making, to record my fabrics and any plans and things like that. Now, I have been recording my makes and fabrics in a notebook for the last 2.5 years, and that's the previous notebook that I used, and I loved using that, and I just literally wrote lists of the different things. But I'm going to try and use this in a more illustrative way and actually do some drawing and planning in this notebook as well. So starting off with my resolutions, so I've done the first page in the notebook, so I've just put 2021 sewing resolutions, and I use this really lovely brush script font from Defont, and then I've written down my sewing resolutions and then my unfinished projects. So I'm just going to go through and explain them all. So the first one is plan and sew my dream wardrobe. Now, if you've watched my videos from last year, you know that I started to do this with a wardrobe clear out kind of at the beginning of last year, and then I did start to put together some plans for that, but I never really got any further than that. And I think for the moment I've got plenty of jumpers and t-shirts and jogging trousers and things, and so actually this is a perfect time to concentrate on making those garments that maybe take a little bit longer but that are part of my dream wardrobe look, as it were, and also try to sew some new patterns as part of that I'm really interested in. So I will be revisiting my Pinterest board, re-looking at the notes that I wrote from my dream wardrobe last year, and doing another wardrobe clear out, all in the spirit of re-engaging with my dream wardrobe. It did go a bit amiss last year because the idea was I turned all my hangers round to see what I would wear within the year, and that messed up a little bit because obviously I wasn't wearing the clothes as I would normally wear them due to COVID. But hopefully this year I will be able to reassess that and get back on track with making some just dream outfits, which I think will be really cool. The next one is to sew my fabric and pattern stash, and I think a lot of people have always got this on their minds. Now, I do own a lot of pieces of fabric, and I have got to a point now where I'm only buying fabrics to replace basic fabrics in my stash or fabrics I totally love. And I've looked through my fabric stash and I have so many fabrics I love that I haven't sewn up, so that is going to be one of my priorities. I did say this last year, I said I would do 5 out, 1 in. That did not work. So I think maybe a 2 out, 1 in policy, or just being a bit more considerate about my fabric purchases is something that I'm going to do. and actually try to sew the fabrics I love from my stash so then I can get on to wearing them. and also to do with my sewing patterns. I've got quite a few shirt dresses that I'd like to try, and blouse patterns, and a few looser fit trouser patterns, which I think would all work in my regular everyday wardrobe, and I just haven't had a chance to have a look at them. And I think that that's really important, that I go through my stash and actually try and make some of the patterns, because that's why they're there. I want to actually get some things made. Next up, we've got number 3, which is explore some different pattern companies. Now, in my last roundup video, I talked about how I mostly used Tilly and the Buttons and Helen's Closet patterns throughout the year, with some additions of Sew Over It, True Bias and Deer and Doe. But actually I'm not sewing from a wide range of pattern companies, and that's partially because I know certain pattern companies have different blocks and some fit me and some don't as well. But actually there are so many indie sewing pattern companies out there that I would love to explore and find new patterns and new ways of working. And I think that I just need to be a bit more open to that and try looking on the different websites, buying a pattern, seeing how it works out. So if you have got any recommendations for your favourite pattern companies, then please comment them down below, because I'm going to do a bit of a search around, and that might even become a video series, because that would be quite a fun one to kind of search on a website for patterns, purchase the patterns, or see if I've already got things in my stash and then make it up and then share that with you in a video. Number 4 is to complete my unfinished projects. Now, I did really well with this in 2020. I've got my UFOs. I've actually only got 5 UFOs now, unfinished projects or unfinished objects, UFOs. And I'm looking forward to getting those done. Now, I'm not saying moving forward I'm only going to work on one garment at a time, but if I've cut out a whole selection of garments, I do plan to sew those garments unless I get just a spur of the moment make. But I want to kind of clear down for the beginning of the year, and then moving forward I can cut and make some additional things later on. And the things that I've got kind of on the go are all things that I would love to have in my wardrobe, so I just really need to kind of focus and then get them completed. And I will go through my unfinished projects in just a second. And number 5 is use my fabrics and scrap busting. So I have got 3 boxes of scrap fabrics, and they are ones that are smaller pieces, some that could be used for colour blocking, some for the fronts of t-shirts and things like that, but some that are a lot smaller pieces, and I would like to do some scrap busting to eliminate those 3 boxes. So whether that's doing some colour blocking, and I plan to do a video on the things that I have already colour blocked to give you some inspiration, whether that's making scrunchies. My little sister has actually asked for some more kind of cotton rounds to use for makeup and things, so I'm going to make a few more of those for her. But I think those kind of projects will be really good to use up that fabric, and I have put aside some fabric that will be great for t-shirts for my mum and myself, that I can combine multiple fabrics or have one fabric on the front, a different fabric on the back, to use up those fabric scraps to stop them just languishing in the boxes for years and years. Okay, so on to my unfinished projects. So I only have 5, which I'm really excited about getting finished. Although I don't know that that will happen in January, what with returning to school next week and then recovering from my operation, but I do plan to do it in the beginning part of the year, so it might be one of my February focuses. So the first one is the Nexus blouse by Papercut Patterns, and I will pop in a picture, and it's in this cat print viscose that I got from the Nylon Shop. And I've got a little bit to do. I need to do the cuffs and just finish it off, but not much to do with that one, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how it looks on me and having the really exaggerated sleeves as well. Next up, we've got the Georgie Dress by Sew Over It. Now this is the first one I made that didn't fit me very well, and literally I could hem it and wear it, but it doesn't fit me properly. So this is it. It's in this beautiful viscose jersey from Stuff in Steel. And what I plan to do to this is literally I need to unpick the neckline, and then I'm going to make some adjustments, and then I'm going to just put a neckband in instead. I did turn over my other Georgie dress, but I'm going to put a neckband in for this one, and I'm just going to use the interior lining to do that, and then that one should be wearable. But it has been there for like the last year, but I love this fabric because it's such a beautiful colour, and I think I need to actually be able to wear it as well. Next up is this one. This is the Gilbert top by Helen's Closet, but this is the dress hack. So I extended the sides and added a rounded hem in this beautiful viscose twill fabric that I got from Lamaze. And everything's cut out, everything's interfaced, so I managed to actually get the interfacing done on this. So that's all sorted. I just need to get onto the sewing part, and I know I will get so much wear out of this dress when it's done, so this is really a priority for me, and I'm really excited to get that done. Next up is the Bobby Pinafore by Tilly and the Buttons, which is on my mannequin. There is in a really beautiful chunky cord, which I got from Like So Amazing. And you may have noticed in my videos, it's been there for ages. Now, the reason it has been there for ages, and I don't really know what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna finish it. I made a size 5, and what I should have done is graded from a 5 at the waist to a 6 at the hips. But I actually don't think that that pinafore is going to fit round my hips, because when I've tried it on and pinned it, it's very, very snug. Now, I don't think my hips and bum are going to get any smaller in the next few months. I'm not planning on that at all. I'm happy with the size that I am, but it does mean that I might not get as much wear out of that pinafore if I do make it. However, I might be able to pass it on to a friend, or it might be that it does turn out okay once I put the buttons on and things like that. So I do need to finish that one so I can get some wear out of it, because it's such a cute pattern and it's such a cute fabric that I think I'll get a lot of wear out of it, but hopefully it will fit when it's finished. But you know, that's always one of the reasons why you don't finish a project, because you think it might not fit. And lastly is this one, which is in this beautiful wine coloured cord, which is from Like So Amazing. And I also got the lining for this from Like So Amazing as well. She does this fantastic lining, which is this one, really high quality. It has been good to sew with, and it's anti-static as well. And this is the Barbary Jacket by Charlotte M Patterns, and it's a pattern test, so I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but I've literally got to put some buttons on, and I've got to attach the lining to the bottom, and then this jacket will be done. I think that in February, March time, it'll be a perfect spring jacket to wear over like a light jumper or over a top. So I would like to get that done for then. I've just never made a lined jacket before, and so I was struggling a little bit with doing the lining. I just want to get that one finished as well. So those are my 5 unfinished projects. I think some of them are perfectly reasonable and I will get them done. I can see the Georgie dress and the jacket being left for a little bit longer, just because they're slightly more difficult things to just finish off, whereas the other projects, they're just partly sewn. They're not really alterations at all, so I could get straight onto those and get those completed. So what am I doing as an alternative to my Make 9? So Patsy Poo Makes on Instagram set up a personal challenge last year to do sewing bingo. So she had 9 squares and she put something in each square and she tried to complete it throughout the year. And she's upgraded that this year to have 16 different things. And I think it's something that I would actually be really interested in, because it's not something that's sew this, sew this, sew this. It's a bit more general. So I've written it out in my book. I don't know if I'm entirely happy with how I've done this, but I'm not going to redo it now. I've done the title, Sewing Bingo, and I've written out the different headings. So we've got a print, something quick and easy, a first, a long time coming, fabric from stash, everyday basic, one piece, something special, a solid, a pattern from stash, a favourite, something that's more involved, a spur of the moment, separate, something for someone else, and a repeat. So there's a few different ways that you could take some of those projects, and then you can fill them in your grid at the end of the year. I think it's quite a nice thing to do, and so I'm going to be having a look at that and just using that to help me in my sewing plans for the next year. And that is it. So I've got my 5 resolutions. I want to finish my unfinished projects, and I want to set myself some basic goals to work towards that sewing bingo, but I'm hopefully just going to be enjoying my sewing, working towards my dream wardrobe, making things for others because I really enjoy that as well, and having a really lovely sewing year, I hope. And hopefully as we move through the year, we'll get back to a little bit more normality and we will be able to go to some sewing events and see people in real life, and I'm really excited for that happening as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please press the thumbs up and subscribe if you want to hear more from me. Goodbye!